You're not lazy. You're not weak. And you're not broken. But something feels off, doesn't it? You wake up tired, you need coffee just to feel human, you push through the day, and by 3 p.m., you're running on fumes. And here's the worst part, you think that's normal. Modern energy feels fine, until they aren't. And today, I'm going to show you why the way we think about energy in America is completely backwards. Let me paint you a picture. You wake up to an alarm, not because you're rested, but because you have to. You stumble to the kitchen. Coffee, strong, maybe 2 cups. You feel okay for a while, functional. You check emails, scroll your phone, get the kids ready, commute to work. Then around 10 a.m., the first crash hits. So you grab another coffee, maybe a granola bar. Lunch comes, you eat, but instead of feeling energized, you feel heavy, sluggish. By 3 p.m., you're fantasizing about your bed, but you've got 5 more hours to go. So you push through. Energy drink, candy bar, willpower. You get home exhausted. You collapse on the couch, screen time until bed. And you call that normal. But here's what most people don't realize. For most of human history, this feeling didn't exist. Think about an American farmer in 1850. He didn't wake up to an alarm, he woke up with the sun. He didn't need coffee to function, his body was already awake. He worked hard, incredibly hard, physically demanding labor for 10, 12 hours a day. But here's the thing, he didn't chase energy. He didn't need productivity hacks. He didn't crash at 3 p.m. He didn't feel that constant gnawing exhaustion that you feel. Why? Because his life followed human rhythm. He moved his body all day. He ate real food. He saw sunlight. And when the sun went down, he rested. No screens, no artificial light, no constant stimulation. His energy wasn't something he had to manufacture. It was built into his day. Now compare that to today. We wake up in darkness, we sit under artificial light, we stare at screens, we eat food that barely resembles what our great-grandparents ate. We replaced rhythm with stimulation, and we wonder why we're exhausted. If this is hitting home, drop a comment below and just write, "I feel this." I want to see how many people are experiencing the same thing. Here's what makes modern exhaustion so dangerous. It doesn't fail suddenly, it fades quietly. You still function, you still show up to work, you still take care of your family. You just feel less alive. And because everyone around you feels the same way, you think it's normal. Let me break down exactly what's happening. 1. Artificial light disruption. Your body runs on something called a circadian rhythm. For 300,000 years of human evolution, this rhythm was controlled by one thing, the sun. Sunrise, wake up. Sunset, wind down. Simple. Effective, natural. But in 1879, Thomas Edison invented the light bulb, and everything changed. Now we have lights on 24/7, screens in our face until midnight. Our bodies don't know if it's noon or midnight anymore. Result? Disrupted sleep, hormonal chaos, chronic fatigue. 2. Stimulant dependency. Americans consume more caffeine per capita than almost any other country on Earth. We start with coffee in the morning, energy drinks in the afternoon, pre-workout before the gym, maybe some soda with dinner. And look, I'm not anti-coffee, but here's the problem. When you need caffeine just to feel normal, you're not boosting energy, you're masking exhaustion. 3. Processed food epidemic. The average American diet is about 60% ultra-processed foods. Foods designed in labs, foods that spike your blood sugar, foods that crash your energy levels an hour later. Compare that to 1920s America when most food came from farms, not factories. That farmer eating eggs, bacon, and potatoes for breakfast, his energy was stable for hours. You eating a bagel and orange juice, you'll crash before lunch. If you're starting to see the pattern here, hit that like button. It helps this message reach more people who need to hear it. Here's the scariest part about all of this. We've normalized exhaustion. When everyone around you is tired, when every commercial sells you an energy solution, when "I need coffee" is a cultural punchline, exhaustion becomes the baseline. And when that happens, you stop questioning it. You don't ask, "Why am I so tired?" You ask, "What energy drink should I try next?" But let me tell you something that might blow your mind. For most of human history, people didn't need external energy sources just to function. They didn't need supplements, they didn't need biohacks, they didn't need productivity gurus. They had energy because their lifestyle created energy. Movement, sunlight, real food, natural sleep cycles. It wasn't complicated, it was human. Think about the pioneers who crossed the Oregon Trail in the 1840s. These people walked 2,000 miles on foot, pulling wagons, facing disease, weather, starvation. And you know what they didn't have? Energy drinks, pre-workout, espresso machines. They had stamina that would put most modern Americans to shame. Why? Because their bodies were designed for that life. In your body, it's the same design, but we're running 19th century hardware on 21st century software, and it's crashing. Comment below, what time of day do you feel the worst? Morning? Afternoon? Let me know. I'm curious if there's a pattern here. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Your body is incredibly adaptive. It's designed to survive almost anything. But adaptation has limits. And when you push past those limits for long enough, something breaks. Let me explain. When you drink coffee every morning, your body adapts. It down-regulates adenosine receptors. Translation, you need more caffeine just to feel the same effect. When you eat sugar constantly, your insulin receptors become resistant. Translation, your body stops processing energy efficiently. When you expose yourself to artificial light all night, your melatonin production crashes. Translation, you can't sleep deeply anymore. And here's the most dangerous part. When energy systems stop working, they don't collapse. They normalize exhaustion. You wake up tired, but you've been waking up tired for so long that you forget what rested even feels like. You survive on stimulants, but you've been doing it for years, so you think that's just life. You feel foggy, irritable, unmotivated, and you blame yourself. But the problem isn't you. The problem is that you're trying to live a modern life with a Stone Age body. It's like trying to run Windows 11 on a computer from 1995. Sure, you can make it work for a little while, but eventually it's going to freeze. It's going to crash, and you'll be left wondering what went wrong. Your body is the same way. Now, I want to talk about something specific to American culture, because this problem, it's global, but it's amplified in the United States. Why? Because American culture glorifies hustle. Rise and grind, sleep is for the weak, no days off. We wear exhaustion like a badge of honor. We brag about how little sleep we get. We compete over who's busier. We judge people who rest. And this isn't new. America was built on productivity, the Protestant work ethic, the Industrial Revolution, the American dream. Work harder, earn more, achieve more. And look, there's nothing wrong with ambition, but somewhere along the way, we confused productivity with worth. We started measuring our value by our output, and rest became weakness. But here's what we forgot. Rest isn't the opposite of productivity. Rest is the foundation of productivity. Your great-grandparents understood this. They worked hard, but they also rested hard. Sundays were for rest. Evenings were for family. Sleep was sacred. Today, we check emails at 11 p.m. We skip lunch. We sacrifice sleep to get ahead. And we call it success. But if success leaves you exhausted, anxious, and burned out, is it really success? If this is resonating with you, subscribe to this channel because I make videos like this every week, breaking down the things modern culture gets wrong about health, energy, and what it means to actually live well. Hit that bell icon too so you don't miss anything. Let me tell you about the moment everything clicked for me. A few years ago, I went camping. No phone, no electricity, just nature. The first night, I couldn't sleep. My brain was wired. I kept thinking about emails, deadlines, everything I was missing. But by the third day, something shifted. I woke up without an alarm. I felt rested, actually rested. I had energy throughout the day, not jittery, caffeinated energy, but steady, calm energy. And when the sun went down, I was tired, naturally tired. I didn't need melatonin. I didn't scroll my phone for 2 hours. I just slept. And I realized this is what my body was designed for. Not the chaos, not the constant stimulation, not the 24/7 grind. This, natural rhythm, simple living. And when I came back to normal life, I felt the difference immediately. The artificial lights felt harsh, the noise felt overwhelming, the pace felt unsustainable, and I understood. Modern life isn't normal. We've just normalized it. So here's the question. If your body was designed for something else, what happens when you force it to live like this? Have you ever had a moment like that, where you stepped away from modern life and felt the difference? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your story.
Okay, so we've covered the problem, but here's where most health videos go wrong. They tell you to quit your job, move to a farm, and live like it's 1850. And look, if you can do that, amazing. But most of us can't. We have bills, we have families, we live in cities. So what do? Here's the truth. This isn't about going backward. It's about realizing something simple. You were built for another world, and pretending otherwise has a cost. But you can still make choices, small, strategic choices that bring your body closer to what it needs. Morning sunlight. Get outside within 30 minutes of waking up, even 10 minutes. It resets your circadian rhythm. Your ancestors didn't need an alarm clock because they saw the sunrise. You can't control the sun, but you can see it. Real movement. You don't need a gym membership. Just move. Walk. Take the stairs. Play with your kids. Garden. Dance. Your body doesn't care if it's exercise. It just wants to move the way it was designed to. Food that looks like food. If your great-grandmother wouldn't recognize it, maybe don't eat it every day. Eggs, meat, vegetables, fruit. Simple. Not saying you can't enjoy modern food, but make it the exception, not the rule. Darkness at night. Turn off screens an hour before bed. Dim the lights. Let your body know it's time to rest. You're not a machine. You can't run 24/7. These aren't radical changes. They're not extreme. They're just human. And when you start living more like a human, your energy comes back. Not fake energy, not stimulated energy, real energy. And here's the thing. This isn't just about energy. When you fix your energy, everything else improves. Your mood stabilizes, your focus sharpens, your relationships improve, your creativity comes back. Because energy isn't just physical, it's foundational. When you're exhausted, everything suffers. But when you have real, sustainable energy, you show up differently. You're more present, more patient, more capable. And that ripples out into every area of your life. If you know someone who's struggling with this, someone who's always tired, always stressed, always running on empty, share this video with them. Because this isn't just information, it's permission. Permission to stop grinding, permission to rest, permission to live like a human being again. So here's the question I'll leave you with. If modern energy feels normal until there aren't, what else are we normalizing that's slowly breaking us? It's not just energy. It's sleep, it's food, it's stress, it's connection. We've normalized things that our ancestors would have called insane, and we're paying the price. But the good news, once you see it, you can't unsee it, and that's when change becomes possible. Thanks for sticking with me till the end. That tells me you're not just looking for quick fixes. You actually want to understand what's going on, and that's rare. So here's what I need from you. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell so you don't miss the next video, comment below with your biggest energy struggle, and share this with someone who needs to hear it.
because the more people who understand this, the more we can push back against the exhaustion epidemic. You're not broken. You're just living in a world that wasn't built for you, but you can choose differently. See you in the next one.